Right, let's get back into it. It is Wednesday the 18th. I took one trade today and it was stopped out at break even. I'm going to go through my reasoning for taking the trade, what I was looking for, why I closed, or well, I got stopped out break even, so I moved my stop to break even. And yeah, so pretty much to start the day, I just marked out relevant highs and lows. So I marked out the London low, the Asia low, this high here, which was previous PM high, which was taken in the London session. Well, this is the PM high from Friday last week. And then the high of this candle here, which as you can see is just like part of a big imbalance. Now, from there, I was just waiting. I also noted that we had fair value gaps within the London session and within the Asia session. And obviously with these draws, higher time frame and this bullish market structure after filling this 4-hour fair value gap down here. I was under the impression that price could go both ways today. As you can see in my notes, both moves possible today, favoring bearish. Wait to see which way price breaks before the retest. So from here, on the 15-minute chart, marked out the 8 a.m. candle, drew that across with the midpoint, and I was just watching to see which way we would break, because we could probably go either way today, and turns out we did, pretty much to perfection, really. So yeah, if we go into a lower time frame, like on the 3-minute, you can see prices coming up towards the top of this on the 1-minute, like it does trade out of this zone. But if you look at like a 5-minute candle or a 15-minute candle, you can see it doesn't really close outside the zone. And then from there at 8:30, price started breaking downwards. So at that point, we had a nice fair value gap form directly on the midpoint, which was a big green flag for this setup at that time. And so pretty much my two targets were going to be the London low and this fair value gap in the Asia session. I wasn't trying to get the move into it, but just to target that, because it was, as you can see, that would have been a 4-to-1, and the 3-to-1 would have been just below the London low, like so. As you can see, it wicked in there. Let's put that back. And so yeah, pretty much I set my limit order at 8:43, and my initial idea was to take profit 1 at London low, move to break even, and then allow this to be the full target. However, so there was another fair value gap at the bottom of the zone as well. Yeah, so we had the one on the midpoint and this one here. So I was conscious that price could maybe come up and respect the bottom of the zone. But it didn't really make sense that there was a perfect fair value gap right on the midpoint of that range. So yeah, pretty much. So from 8:30 or 9 o'clock, you can see right at the market open, price drops down into this, or drops down below the London low and straight into that fair value gap, wicks it like perfectly. And we got a nice reaction off of that. So from here, I was potentially looking at, maybe a bounce trade off this London low to target the midpoint. But I did just kind of want to stick with, the model, the 8 a.m. break and retest. Just because I already had the sell limit in, I didn't really need to do any more. So there were 3 trade opportunities that I could have taken today. I could have taken the long up to the midpoint, the short that I did take, or we could have taken the long up to the imbalance and the high as mentioned up here, maybe even the London high as an initial target / break even zone. So yeah, from here, yeah, price wicked the fair value gap at open, and then I was just watching the reaction. I left my sell limit in because with the entry criteria, this was to the model, and it made sense to do this. However, I was conscious that now that these two targets that I was initially going for with a short had been taken, that price may be more likely to come upwards and take these highs. So that put a bit of caution in. And then, yeah, so pretty much get tapped in at 9:43, and then we're in that trade for about two minutes, I'd say, before I move my stop to break even. So I moved my stop to break even on this candle down, and the reason for that was obviously, as mentioned just then, these two targets already being hit. And then we traded into this 1 minute fair value gap, and I was under the impression that maybe this could just be a retracement into that before the continuation up. And I just moved my stop to break even and got taken out there for, I don't know, it was like £5 that I made on this today. So not a massive amount, but break even day. So had I stayed in this and not adjusted my stop and just kept with the 3-to-1 as usual, then we would have whacked about £378 profit today. So it's a bit of a bummer, but I was managing my risk, and I was a bit more cautious because I was targeting more than I would normally. I know that it can be done with this model, but yeah, I think going forward, I am just going to stick with the 3-to-1. That's my main thing. Stick with the 3-to-1, and only when it is actually valid to move the stop to break even, then do so. Because we got wicked out here, and then price sort of traded down through the fair value gap and then went straight to where the target would have been, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. It was a nice trade in today. And so from that, price then has a nice reaction off that London low after tapping it the second time. We get the inverse fair value gap here. Price trades into this fair value gap and then taps that inverse just. So you could enter long there with your stop below here, targeting. So we go right on the inverse, like so, with the stop below there, and then we mark out an inverse fair value gap here on the 1 minute. So you could take an entry like that to then target, London high, which is up here. That would be a nice 3.7-to-1. I just dragged it out a little bit so you can see. Or you could go for the next high and bang that for 6.3-to-1. An alternative entry there would be this move from the midpoint going back up the way. So if we drag that like that, I was considering taking this at the time. My entry would have been about there, but I was conscious of this fair value gap and like the risk. I'd already been in the trade. I've been in a trade. So yeah, it just wasn't really something that I wanted to get involved in, but it was nice to see that play out nicely. You could have got 4.6-to-1 now. So yeah, plenty of opportunities today. And yeah, main takeaway is 3-to-1, take profit would have hit, follow the risk to reward plan because it works. So with that being said, we've got FOMC meeting minutes at 7 p.m. UK time, so about an hour and a half. So I'm not sure what's really going to happen there. It could either not have much of an effect, or it could just send price moving back up into this imbalance here, since we do seem a bit more bullish now. Going into tomorrow, we have unemployment claims, which I know is the case. Yeah, unemployment claims at 1:30. So I'll have another look tomorrow, to see if there is any more opportunities. But overall, not too bad. Yeah, taken 2 trades this week. Is that right? What are we on for the week? I think 2 trades this week. Let me just check my broker statement. week. Yeah, so we've got one loss, one break even. That's current P&L. There you go, 121.90. And yeah, like I say, that was today's trade there. 2 minutes 21, stopped at break even. So absolutely fine. We can make it all back in one trade. And today was another example of that. You know, I was on a 3 loss streak. And yeah, that one trade alone could have made back all of those losses. So it's a good sign that the risk management is being done correctly at this time. There is still a few little mistakes that I need to tune out, as there always will be. And yeah, tomorrow will be the last video of the week. And then the week after that, I'll do a full monthly summary again, take down all the learning points, all of that good stuff. So that's going to be everything from me today. And with all that being said, I will catch you tomorrow.